Mr. Wolf, have you seen NVIDIA app yet?
I have not seen it in action, but I did see that they released an update recently, but I haven't messed around with it yet.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you NVIDIA app. What is this thing? For anybody who is a green user on the PC side, the NVIDIA app, NVIDIA GeForce Now, anything NVIDIA related specifically, this app is eventually supposedly going to replace all of the OG apps and tools that you are used to. If you recall the NVIDIA, the GeForce experience, where's that thing? Do I have that in here as well? No, that's broadcast. No, I don't. I don't have the GeForce experience anymore. They've replaced the GeForce experience on my computer with the NVIDIA app. And what does it do? Basically, it's one-stop shopping for all things NVIDIA. I somehow think they got tired of being upstaged by AMD with the software, because the software looks good.
Yeah, that's what I was that's what I was saying in the green room while we were going through things. You were showing me around. I was like, that's the first thing I thought about. Like, wow, they're really taking a page out of AMD, huh?
Yes, they basically see, and it's kind of funny, right? Like, AMD kept the software looking fresh, but their drivers are crap, right? and NVIDIA keeps the software looking crap, but their drivers are fresh. Maybe they both learn from each other. Let's just hope, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean priorities. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, if I have to be honest, if I had to choose between which one I want them to prioritize, AMD. I don't care how snazzy your app looks. Get your driver game up to par. Like, come on, this is becoming ridiculous. But
that's a good point. That's a good point.
But anyway, so far this is in beta, and they don't have all of it together, right? So I suspect that at some point all of it will be together. But as of right now, just as you can see, what I think is kind of cool about it is they put everything together in one place, including like GeForce Now. So like this is some of my own library that's in my PC, which if you click on it, it goes to all the games installed in your library. Yes, I have a lot of crap installed in my library. And when you go in, if you pay attention, you go into it. Yes, that is Redfall that is installed in my library still. I have not deleted it. That's right. I have not deleted it.
That's how you bite back, let me tell you.
Well done, sir. Well done. That's good.
That's how you bite back.
But it shows you what each setting is, and it can talk you through what each setting does, things like that. Super interesting for those who don't know, for those who need some understanding as to what each of them is and what it does. It's kind of nice that way. I like that. I don't necessarily use it as much because I'll just do it internally, or I'll do it from the control panel. But it seems that at some point the control panel will no longer be an option for us, and this will be just what you have available to you. So This is what it looks like right now. And the control panel, I think, is still accessible. Is it? Let me see here. Access video control panel. No, it's not. Yes.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you've noticed or if we can try to confirm it right now. When this goes live and GeForce Experience goes away, does my Moonlight go away also? Did they remove the Shield stream ability from this?
So that is a very interesting thing you bring up, good sir. And yes, I will confirm to you that once this thing goes live, your ability to stream with NVIDIA Shield, my baby, is gone. You're done, son. You're done.
Wow.
Yes,
so
you're done.
I mean, we're all pay pigs to a certain extent, so they'll keep on getting my $20 a month, I guess, so that I can play with GeForce Now, so I can play around.
But you see, it's kind of sad, right? It's kind of unfortunate because we had it was there, it was beautiful, and now it is gone. Like, there's no world where it comes back. And oh, by the way, I forgot to show, it's not that everything is gone, because you still do have access to what they used to call shadow, what is it, Shadowcaster or Shadow Recorder or whatever.
Yeah, I never used that.
Shadow Play, but it's actually really good. It's better than Windows internal recording tool. Okay. Yes, it is. It's better than, so like Windows can max capture at 1080p, and it's in some instances, Windows, the internal recording tool, has had issues with DirectX 12 games. So you'll record the whole thing, and then it'll be like on the corner of the screen, and the rest of it is black.
You're right. I have had issues before, and also,
Uh-huh.
it's had issues with HDR.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Exactly.
know exactly what you're talking about.
This program, none of those issues. It can record in 4K. It can record the full bit rate. You can choose what you want to record, and it'll record it right. And it takes a really minimal hit to your performance. So I actually like it a lot. I use it.
Hold on. Hold the presses. We got an
oh.
AMD representative
yes,
here.
of course,
okay,
of course.
Floodzilla.
Flood is in the zone, trying to tell us that. Well, okay. Flood, aka the Penguin, is in the zone, trying to tell us that we can't mess with AMD. No AMD slander. I hear you, good sir. But in the world where AMD, where all I can say nice about AMD is that their application looks nice, they need some corrective priorities, sir. You know what I'm saying? They need like one thing I can, and this is a little bit of side tangent for me, right? Do you know one thing I can depend on? Whenever a new game that everybody has heard of comes out, there will also be driver updates by NVIDIA to match them. Right?
That's not a lie. That's not
now.
A lie.
Will they be the best drivers in the world? Hey, the devil's in the details. But at the end of the day, they are ready, willing, and able to jump on that and start optimizing for the new hotness. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like
that is true.
I also have AMD based devices that have AMD Adrenalin based software running on them. Like the last time I checked, I got an update in 2023. Like, come on, like November 2023, and this is Adrenalin software. So the slander is real, sir. Show me where I'm wrong.
Okay, I know that I'm gonna have to start reading up because this thing's about to go live soon. Then I'm gonna have to start reading up. Have you heard of Sunshine? Because if Moonlight goes away, Sunshine is the fix. Which actually, Sunshine will, I think, also stream AMD cards as well.
Yep.
So you get the benefit of both.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, and I see Handheld Kings is in here. Welcome, sir. He says, sounds like an ROG ally. Actually, I have to actually you. Actually, the ROG ally is even worse because they're not even on the AMD main Adrenalin line. So while all standard Adrenalin, AMD Adrenalin's device compatible users are enjoying FMF right now, fluid motion frame generation, right? ROG Ally is not on that line. They have to wait till ASUS blesses them. They don't even have that yet.
ASUS needs to make sure that AMD has made the chip, has made the update more than capable for their chip. Let's we got to make sure they're prioritizing their device.
They are the new version of Samsung. Remember back in the day when Samsung phones like Android would come out, they'd be Android 12 and Samsung would be on Android 10 because their skin isn't quite pretty enough yet, so they haven't released the new update. You got to wait for them to skin it first, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is all I want to know. Handheld Kings, has the Lenovo Go gotten the update yet?
Oh, of course it wouldn't have gotten it either because it's also running the Z1 Extreme, which is and let me be clear.
Go talk to Lenovo.
Extreme. The people who bought the Z1 Extreme, let me be clear with you. They put Extreme on there because it hides the fact that it's debilitated compared to its normal 7840U cousin.
Well, in the fine print, it said extremely delayed driver updates, but we didn't read that. We were too excited.
Yes, absolutely. But okay. So and last thing on this thing before we move forward. One other thing for those who enjoy it, who like that kind of stuff, you can turn on right here, like as you can see, it turns on right away. You can turn on statistics. You can get very detailed statistics. Get all sweaty if you want. It gets quite detailed in all the statistics you can put on the screen, and
that's pretty
keep
cool.
all that active. That. Yeah. So it does some interesting things. But yes, as you've noted there, sir, they're doing all this whiz bang amazingness so that when they get rid of the Moonlight feature, when they get rid of the NVIDIA Shield feature, you don't go, oh, what happened? Yeah, some of us will remember it, but it is what it is.
Oh, well. It's PCMR. You figure it out, right? That's what I've learned throughout this journey. So, okay, Moonlight, you're going to do your thing. You're going to be sunsetted. Here comes Sunshine. I'll just learn that too.
Indeed. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, everybody. Welcome to the Gamers Playground, the show where we try to demystify that huge monolith that we call PCMR. I am, of course, your host, K Asante, TK Asante, on all the places you can find me, and I'm joined by my Latino Heat brother, Mr. John Wolf. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Doing good, man. It's good to be on with you, Kay. Work has been pretty violent last couple of days, but man, coming on, yeah, just violent in the sense of things coming all over the place. It's just it's crazy, but good times, man. Very thankful to
he says
violent,
and then he says things coming all over the place.
Yeah,
I feel first I feel like saying. First, I feel like saying, "Are you all right? Do we need to call some help for you?" And then, secondly, I feel like saying, "Pause. What's going on?"
Just getting hit with spreadsheets left and right, dude. It's
wow.
Crazy. But,
okay, spreadsheets are flying. I get it. Okay,
there you go. But it's good to be here with you. First and foremost, I always enjoy. One of my favorite parts of the week is talking to you, man. And then, obviously, with all the good people in the chat. I always say it because I never take it for granted. I thank each and every one of you for being here every single week to listen to us, and we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think this is just a time for us to, usually Mondays are the most dreary times of the day of the week. So coming here and hanging out is always good.
We got the man Hargeet. Hargeet got my energy up, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I love you
absolutely.
guys, man.
Absolutely. That's great. What's going on, Hargeet? Welcome, sir. So, okay. Welcome to the show. I know you want to talk about some things, Mr. Wolf, but before you do, I have to ask you, because last I heard, you had finished your Assassin's Creed 1 journey. Well, not one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey journey?
Yeah. Finally,
why don't you regale the people with a little bit of that? How long did that take you? And what's going on? Like what epiphanies have you learned in that realm?
Wow, I mean, what a game. First of all, what a great game, man. The only thing that I found to be kind of cumbersome about the game is that I quickly learned how Ubisoft kind of pivoted these Assassin's Creed games to be their MMOs, their never-ending journey. As you know, the later you get in the game, the more crushing it is to level up for you to advance and progress through the story. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the game, everything becomes a fetch quest. It's go here to get this, talk to 3 people to get the one person. The one person runs away, you track them down, but you have to go and stealth into their base, kill everybody, kill the dude, and then that wasn't really the dude. So it kind of turns into like this mess, but it's packaged at the end very nicely. The DLC stuff of the Atlantis stuff was pretty epic. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, man, one down, many more to come. Okay, what I want to do is have a dedicated show to each Assassin's Creed, like we talked about, where we can talk about the lore, the setting, the characters. Because man, let me tell you, people can have their gripes with the game, understood 100%. There's great things about it. There's things that Ubisoft, you could tell that they're being a little shady with. But at the end of the day, the love and care that goes into those games, man, you can see it the whole way through.
It's on display, right? Absolutely.
It's really quality, man. But yeah, other than that, I also beat Prince of Persia.
You on the Ubi kick this week, right?
Yeah, definitely the Ubi kick. I've been keeping my word, man, that I made for the New Year's resolution, where I would not play a game unless I would start it and beat it till completion. So I beat that game, and then now I actually started on RoboCop yesterday, which I want to talk to you when we get into our little Intel talk later.
Okay. Interesting.
How about you, sir? What you been playing?
So funny you ask me that. So I have been playing some weird stuff. So as you know, being able to having the privilege of being able to podcast, sometimes they you're handed codes and you're able to play things that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, or things that they're bringing to people's attention before it is really public knowledge, right? So with that in mind, as everybody knows, I tend to be that kind of gamer that loves I love the what do you call it, the genre that is now known, the Vampire Survivor. Like, I love it. You know, I was just playing, what was it, the Reign of Soldier or Reign of Terror or whatever the hell, a little while ago, which is basically 3D version of Vampire Survivor.
I haven't heard
what
of
I've
that.
been playing. Oh yeah, it's actually really cool. You should check it out. It's a meditative kind of game. Like, all those games are very meditative, right?
Yes, they are.
What I've been playing, yeah, and I got a code for this, and I talked about this on GCP over the weekend. It's a game called Geometry Survivor. Let me put some of the footage on the screen here.
Oh, you know who got me? Boom got me with this. He was showing it the other day, and I bought it right away on Steam.
And Boom got it because I put him onto it.
There you go.
Yes, because like I was the biggest Geometry Wars like slave during that time. Oh my God, I love that game. So much so that I sometimes emulate it and play it on my handheld. Like, every once in a while, I'll just play it because it's still amazing on an OLED screen. Like, it's still like just spectacular. So this combined with the style of the visuals combined with Vampire Survivors, which is already crack. Oh, perfection. I love this game. And it's just so damn hard. So
I tried
difficult.
This. By the way, I installed it. I installed it on the Steam Deck OLED, and I played it just to try it out, just to make sure that it was running and all that. Man, let me tell you, it did play just like Geometry Wars. It's a little bit slower, but it's just right. Yep.
Yes. And the thing I've noticed is the game will open up once I conquer it. Like, the whole mission is survive 20 minutes. Right.
Oh, I've been playing.
I've been playing for many hours now. I don't know. I'm even like embarrassed to go look at my Steam hours of how long I've been playing this game. And the most I've lasted is 11 minutes. And if you last more than 10 minutes, that's a benchmark. And then it unlocks certain things for you, right? Like, all they say is the last 20 minutes, the whole game. But I have a feeling that once you get that threshold, then it'll open up and let you do other things too.
I feel like we gotta say pause after talking about this game. Last for 20 minutes. I only lasted for 11 minutes. Man, let me tell you something. If you're up there, you're a champ these days. Okay, I'll tell you that.
Hey, calm down, man.
Should we start calling you by your corn name, if you know what I'm saying?
You gotta calm down right now.
Is it Captain Keys Asante? Is that your theater name?
You need to calm down. Anyway, I do see the comment saying that this looks basic compared to Geometry Wars 2. Yes, Geometry Wars 2 like kicked it up a notch, like really kicked it up a notch. But if you've played what do you call it, Vampire Survivors, you know that the late game of Vampire Survivors is completely different than the starting game. And what you're looking at is the beginning. Like, remember, it says survive 20 minutes. So the closer to minute 1 you get, the crazier this game gets, and the more neon it gets, and the level of enemies will change. They'll get far more bombastic. Each of them has a different attack pattern. It's just really, really, really crazy. Eventually, you just like the screen is just full of crazy neon trying to kill you. You know, it's very difficult, but I've had fun with it. It's pretty cool. That is what I've been playing.
That's awesome. I commend them because they took kind of two genres and kind of plastered them together. And let me tell you that's a great idea. I would have never thought, playing Vampire Survivors, I would have never thought, hey, I wish somebody took Geometry Wars and put this in here. So whoever, shout out.
My best analogy I found out when I saw this, when somebody asked me, was this is my favorite peanut butter and jelly sandwich I never knew I wanted. It is excellent.
There you go.
It really is. It's great. And it's cheap. You know, you just pick it up. You pick up and play. It's quite easy to get into. It's pretty awesome. I like it.
What you think of your name here, Captain Keys Asante? Is that something that we should trademark here?
I don't appreciate any of that slander. Keep it moving. I don't appreciate any of that slander. Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. Hey, you're the 11-minute man right now, dude. You're making a lot of us jealous.
Shut your mouth. All I'll say is your ridiculous names will not be remembered. Let's keep it moving. Anyway, I've also been playing Banishers, Ghost of New Eden, and also Helldivers 2, which Maybe I'll talk about Helldivers another time when I've had a bit more time to play it.
I played it yesterday. I actually played it yesterday.
What do you think?
I played it yesterday with our good friend in a community, Pixel G. He showed me kind of like the ropes of
excellent.
Right off the bat. I had a great time. I had a great time in about the hour and a half that we played. The only thing I will say is that I understand it's a double A game 100%, but man, some of those graphics, man, are dated. Let me tell you, I kind of felt like I kind of got like PS3 vibes. I'm not playing on PC. I'm playing on the PS5, and I was playing on performance mode. And let me tell you, man, some of those textures were muddy or whatever the case may be, but I'm being snobby right now. Overall, the gameplay was really, really fun. I feel like if the shooting, it feels snappy. The gunplay feels really good. It's just that I would love this week for 4 of us, including you, Kay, because I know you got the game. We got to jump online, man. We got to jump online.
I got a Steam version, though. I got the Steam version. We can play together, right?
We can play together, yeah. So I want to jump online with you and 2 other community members because I want to see the full potential of this game. I want all those bugs coming at us.
It is fun. It's fun. It is fun. And did you try the Terminator levels? Because there are levels where they're just nothing but Terminators coming at you.
No. I literally played an hour and a half. I think I did.
There are Terminator levels. Yes.
Cool.
I had to literally seek out the bugs. My first levels that I landed on were the Terminators, and they just kept coming at you like nice. With like swords and like laser guns, and it's just crazy. Yeah, this is me getting murked. There you go.
It's a very generic game. But the bottom line is that you need games to be fun, and this has it. You know what I'm saying?
They have nailed the moment to moment fun. They have definitely nailed like they have nailed the moment to moment. Hey, oh yeah, this is me playing. I was up Schitt's Creek, and then somebody found because obviously it's an open game, so people can drop in. Somebody drops in, saves my bacon, and then he and I are just murking fools left. It was really fun, you know. They've nailed that moment to moment.
What do you think of those Konami codes, though, to get your stuff? Isn't that funny?
I know. That's pretty interesting. The first time I saw that, I was like, "Are you serious? Am I up, down, left, right, left, right? Yeah. This is pretty cool."
It was pretty good. But let me tell you something.
I like that.
But let me tell you something. Where it becomes really challenging is that when you're in the middle of a firefight and you have to put in one of those codes for reinforcements or to revive someone, let me tell you, it can get tough. It's tough. It's
absolute. But see, the thing that's really cool is like right now, you know you're about to extract, right? And you know that there are about to be waves and waves of enemies. So you find the code, and I always bring a turret. So then you lay your turret down, put it in one section that you know they're gonna come in, and it just starts mowing them down. And then you set up on another side. It's really, when you have it all firing on all cylinders, it's quite good. It's quite fun.
It is quite good. It is, and the airstrike stuff is really cool.
It's really satisfying.
There's different little objectives that you can complete in the whole map. That the more that you do, the more points that you get and stuff like that. And one of the most exciting things too is like, for example, yesterday, somebody on Twitter put this just prints money. Did you see the resistance stuff that they put here that they hope is DLC for this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, games like this can live on for a long time. All that's missing for me specifically is put a story. Give me more of a story. Give me more of a reason to be there, because I eventually feel like I'm spinning my wheels. But if you give me more of a story, you move the world along, have events, things like that, like Destiny a little bit. It helps. Now, Destiny got convoluted, but you guys already have the backdrop of Starship Troopers. Just keep going in that direction. You know, do some fun stuff in that way. But yeah, so far, the moment to moment is kind of a la Destiny fun. So, you know, if you have a couple buddies you want to check it out, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so.
BT Maverick 707, great friend of the community. Thank you for being here, sir. With $5 super chat, he says, "Good evening, gents. Any thoughts on Microsoft's new Super Resolution Direct SR? What the implications might be having another upscaler to choose from?" Sir, you are right up our alley, man. We're definitely going to discuss that. We're definitely discussing that. And actually, that is a good segue to discuss what you wanted to start talking about, because that will dovetail well into that discussion. Now, Now, if you're not aware what Microsoft's super resolution direct SR is, it's the idea. It's the basically as you know, SRS has been around for a while. What do you call it? AMD Super Resolution has been around for a while. Software-based upscaling, right? It's a version of it is built into the Steam Deck, so you can so it scales, right? It's not a righteous version, but for all intents and purposes, a working version. The idea here is Microsoft is building their own AI-based upscaler built into Windows. And with that, it would basically open up a lot of potential for performance at the Windows level, getting Windows to run games at a unbelievable, performance, because you can, instead of just choosing from what's available, you can then also try, just as we have right now, right? You have TAA, you have MSAA. You choose then from your various upscalers, from Intel's variant to AMD's variant to DLSS, right? And then built-in Windows would have their built-in upscalers as well.
Absolutely.
So it is an interesting time we live where all the eyes are focused in the gaming direction. I think it's super cool, and that brings up what you wanted to discuss, which was the Intel Microsoft deal. How about I'll let you kick this off, what you heard about it and what you want to ask about it.
Yeah, so I wanted to pick your brain, and we can chime in with the community with their questions or any comments or feedback that they have. So obviously we know what's happening with Xbox as a brand and Microsoft as a company in gaming, how they're transitioning to be more of a third. Not officially, okay? I know it's just 4 games at the moment, but we kind of, me and you have had various conversations. Me and you are forecasting the bigger picture as they continue to divulge into this OS world that we think they're going to, where they'll have a handheld eventually. A deal with Intel is very, very interesting in the timing, because there was a lot of rumors and speculation that they were looking to go with ARM, perhaps for their next consoles and handhelds or whatever that's going to be in the future. And all of a sudden, here comes Intel out of nowhere. Now, we also know that Intel is making strides on the handheld Windows PC gaming machines, where they're really being bullish and aggressive, and I'm liking it. Why am I liking it? Because, like always, I enjoy competition amongst the various companies. I see Intel telling NVIDIA and AMD, hey, on the PC desktop standpoint, we're the cheapest, we're giving great performance, pay attention to us. And now I see them doing the same in that mobile space. Now, my question particularly, the first thing right off the bat that I need to ask you, first of all, do you believe, Kay, that if this Xbox handheld or Xbox OS future that we're moving into, which will combine all of their gaming efforts, whether that's PC, console, and all that stuff, bring it all together, is Intel who they have decided to go with, or do you think that's still undetermined, or what is this deal geared towards?
So I can give you the answers that I think. Obviously, this is all complete speculation on my part, just reading the tea leaves like everybody else. But I kind of want to thread this needle a little bit more, and because you asked, why are they doing this? Like, is this deal for this or that? Right. First off, I would think that the reason why this deal exists is to inoculate them from the terrors of, what was it, 2021, when they had chip shortages everywhere, because TSMC is the only avenue for them, right? TSMC is the only avenue so far for them, right? And because of that, Intel wanted to break free of that, and I think there's some promise of it potentially coming to the US as far as the fabrication factories. So that may be something interesting, right? So, hey, it's an interesting idea, and of course, Intel wanting buy-in to get their new fabrication started off to a strong start is getting partners, right? And if you actually watch a few of the other stuff, a few of the videos that have been floating around, I think the one you even showed me with this CEO, you see that he's counting on a few hands how many partners he's got for his new fabrication, because TSMC is strong, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to be a partner or a competitor to them, you're going to have to make sure that people are confident that you can produce what TSMC has done in the market for as long as they've done it. Very mature, a mature factory. So much so that many different competitors basically go there to have their chips created. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, at the high level, that's definitely a part to play, right? But on this channel, we also like to put on the tinfoil kufis. Of course, we like to put on the tinfoil kufis. So let's do some tinfoil kufi talk here.
And right? On our Discord, cheap plug, and I'm going to put the link right now.
Absolutely, and on our Discord, and Floodzilla, who, my brother, I appreciate you so much, because you are threading needles for me that you don't even know you're threading right now, and I will tell you why. First, he said when I said what we're talking about as far as AI processing at the OS level, he said, what did he say? He says, well, it sounds like it's going to require an Azure backend for AI processing, right? And I told him, hey, be careful, because the needle, there might be a needle to be thread there. And then what did he say? He says, expect Intel-based devices to be power hungry. Okay. So remember what I told you when you asked me today what we wanted to talk about. I said, well, we're going to talk about all this stuff, but we're also going to talk about neural processing units, NPUs. And you were like, what's an NPU? Well, let me tell you, sir.
NPCs, right? That's what you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, those are music devices, which I can also tell you about when I was in a former life, but that's neither here nor there. So basically, in the world of ARM, right? And we're not going to boil the ocean here. We're not going to get all heady about it. We'll keep it to high level and analogies. But in the world of ARM, the reason why ARM has done so much with less, right, is the idea that they're able to take certain workloads and divide them to other sub chips that are able to do the same thing. They have the ARM architectural process is so small that they can put a lot of chips on the same wafer, right? So they're able to make it much smaller than x86 processors. x86 processors, the one that we use right now in our PCs and in consoles, right? And they have these sub chips, if you will, and NPUs that basically they can provide separate instruction sets. An example of that would be, say, in your iPhone, when you put on portrait mode, the blur in the background, the cutting out of the subject, those things that happen seamlessly every time, those are specifically instructioned by specific NPUs to do that, right? And they're very specific, very AI driven. They follow instruction sets. They're able to do it very optimized, and it takes workloads off of the main processing core, right? Now, this has been very fabulous in the ARM architectural world with what do you call it, Qualcomm and all the rest of them. But recently, with actually the 8 series of AMD processors, they're also fiddling with NPUs, right? And with the Ultra line of Intel cores, they're also fiddling with NPUs, right? So it seems, and here's where the tinfoil kufi comes in. It seems that if Microsoft has an idea of wanting to push things forward and they want to do all of this stuff and they need AI architecture in instruction sets at a hardware level to offset some of this hardware, because as Floodzilla is pointing out, Intel has historically been very power hungry, very hot, right? And that's what's led to the rise of these ARM architectures kind of eating their lunch in other realms, right? If they're able to bring that level of offsetting of the technology and it lessens the power draw while still being able to hold on to the x86 architecture, then they don't have to go all in on ARM to get some of the benefits they want. It's kind of half in, right? They get the benefits that they're looking for, right? Seemingly, while still being able to keep the legacy of the operating system that they wanted. Not saying it's possible, not saying they're going to do it, but in a world where in one hand they're saying, hey, we're talking about built-in upscalers, which would require AI offset, right? And then in another hand, they're talking about, well, we're dealing with custom chips from Intel, and Intel's really gung-ho about their Ultra line, which started with what? AI chips. Tells me maybe they want to have a conversation and work together, and maybe Windows 12 will be introduced with these chips specifically instructioned for things like upscaling, right? That's what it looked like to me, right? Okay. And in the future world where we're heading, these NPUs are going to become quite important. I've been speaking to a few people in the background, even on the console side, that are saying that this is when you hear folks talking about we're going to show like a graphical a leap forward that you haven't seen before. A lot of that is based on some of these technologies that they'll put in. Obviously, the devil will be in the details, right? 100%, right. Because speaking console talk on the console side, there's still a lot of juice left in the tank on the Xbox and stuff, but we may or may never see that actually come to full use because they haven't used it.
Correct.
But this stuff is also super interesting, and the implications of which we haven't actually seen really bear out, but it stands to reason that it would really, really like make some interesting things happen, even in the legacy environment of x86. So, hey, we shall see.
So I've been kind of writing some notes here on some of the things you said. So let me pick your brain with a couple of things. All right. So first, right off the bat, me and you work enterprise or part of enterprise. So we understand big corporations like Microsoft, how they think. And they are very resourceful with the money that they're spending, right? That's typically, and who's to question that Microsoft does that? They are the richest company, or one of the two richest companies in the world, for a reason. So when a deal with Intel like this is made, are you in agreement with me that this is enterprise, that this is for the whole enterprise as a whole, where this Intel deal will touch what they're doing with the Azure stuff, with the cloud stuff, with the AI stuff, and then eventually it'll bleed over to their video game stuff as well? Or do you think that, for example, Phil and company have wiggle room to say, listen, I know we just signed a mega deal with Intel, but after much testing and analysis, we're just going to stay with AMD or go with ARM completely with what we want to do? Or do you historically, has Microsoft kind of made these moves and then all of a sudden everything they do is powered by Intel, if you get what I'm saying?
So there's historical evidence on both sides of the house. Like there's historical evidence on what to suggest that they strike a deal, you think, oh, it's all going that way, and then it doesn't go at all that way, right? And then there's also historical evidence like AI, for example, where everything is freaking what do you call it? Copilot and AI infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it still remains to be seen for me anyway, the level of all in they are in this direction, right? It is super interesting. Like what I'm talking about as far as Windows 12 and their AI offsets and the potentials there is just my hypothesis, just looking at what they're doing and all the various deals. It could completely go the opposite way. It could be just a cheaper deal for them that Intel made them, because AMD is right now, leading the roost on that. We don't know. We won't know until more of that stuff comes to fruition. But,
right.
To answer your question directly, as in how it touches the various aspects of the company, I've seen them use whatever tech that comes in many aspects. I mean, look at it right now, right? Take Azure, for example. Azure came out, right? At the beginning, it was the backbone of the enterprise. It stayed the backbone of the enterprise. And then all of a sudden, they put cloud saves, Xbox cloud saves to it, right?
There you go.
And now they're adding, they basically things, the infrastructure that they own, that they sustain, that they pay for, it is in their best interest to breed as much value from it as much as possible, right? So if it's something they're using and something that's a deal, that's something that they're paying for, getting paid for, I would expect that they would try to, use it for all it's worth. So we have to see on that one.
Of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we're just speculating, of course, and we're trying, like you said, to read the tea leaves and follow the breadcrumbs. But isn't it funny how all of a sudden Intel is being bullish in this mobile space? You have rumors of Xbox working on a handheld and simultaneously working on this OS future that we hope comes through one day. And is all of it being aligned? Is it just us reading too much into it? That's the speculation, and that's where the fun is in this. Yeah. But
like one thing I will tell you for 100% certainty, this deal you're seeing here is a lot of work that started after some light bulb went off in someone's head a while ago, like we don't want TSMC to be the only bottleneck because look what happened in 2021. That's what this is, right? That's literally what this is.
Hold on. BT Maverick, we love you, brother, but this is a 30 FPS free zone, sir. I just messing with you, man. I saw him having good discourse there.
Hey, man, 30 FPS is not the worst thing in the world, right? Okay, you can literally have like a mini PC that you bought for like $2 that runs games at 30 FPS.
Oh man, but we're just having some fun. So, okay, here's something else that I have from everything that you said. Question for you, because as you know, I'm diving into different OSs. You know that I have the Odin Pro 2 that is Android based. I'm very happy with the device. It's very powerful. Not powerful enough to run PC games, but it'll take me up to PS2 upscaled at 1440p, GameCube and stuff like that. So let me ask you this: is ARM, from everything that you were saying, with the way that they're kind of you can get kind of more for less with them? If they require more, wouldn't they also be power hungry? Like if now you were asking an ARM chip to give you Alan Wake 2 graphics, wouldn't that take it over the top that now you need that power? So they'll kind of be in the same category as your Steam Decks and your x86 more architecture. Am I not understanding that correctly?
No, I see where you're going. At a high level, the way the ARM architecture is built out is more about optimization than it is about speed. Right, x86 has always been faster, stronger, bigger, better. So it's like a step ladder. Oh, the higher gigahertz. How much can you push it? And the more you push it, the hotter it gets. Whereas ARM has always been, instead of like a crude analogy, instead of running really fast to go back and forth and bring the same thing multiple times, maybe 15 people run at less the speed, but they each take a piece, and now you get there, and 15 pieces are there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So the optimization has been different at an architectural level. And because of that, you can do more with less pushing, as such, less heat. But to your point, right. And that's why people were like the M2 Max exists. A bunch of Macs exist that have passive cooling, but can turn on active cooling if required. So in a world where you were to draw as much power, or want to draw as much power as you would, not necessarily draw as much power, but require as much as from it, there is a world where yes, you would need some active cooling. But even in that world, it would substantially be less active cooling because their architectural differences require them not to push in the same way. They do push, not saying they don't, they just don't do it in the same way.
Understood. So like, I would love to know someone that's played Resident Evil 4 on their iPhone. How's the heat like? How long did your battery last? Those are questions that I would legitimately like to ask someone that has played a AAA game like Resident Evil 4 that was ported to that to that smaller chipset, to kind of see how realistic it is for ARM or what, I don't know, the iOS counterpart to that. How realistic is it? How close are we to that future? Are we talking about 5 years, 10 years? You know,
No, don't get
that's
me
very
wrong.
interesting.
If and I've played a little bit of it, like it's like you can, in certain spots you can feel the 30 frames, and it's not like it's. And then again, I'm also a snob. Please let it be known, I'm a snob. I play
Nah,
on like a
not
beautiful
you.
OLED screen and stuff, so
4090?
like the
No,
comparison
not
is
Kay.
very, very stark. I get it, right? But you can definitely tell the difference between if you played it on a console or a PC versus playing it here. But
Right.
the novelty is not worn off. Like the fact that by and large you can play the full game on the handheld is like natively is substantive. Now, on to your point, I didn't sit there and play it the whole damn day. But I'll tell you, I don't think I'd be able to beat the game or maybe play even an hour with that thing because it'll probably
You're
die
running
out
hot.
before that.
Running hot, huh? So
of course,
that's the thing. So that's the thing. I in all the discussions that we've had and trying to hypothesize what moves Microsoft and other companies would make in the future for handheld devices. I don't know if ARM is bulletproof when more power is required. So that's kind of like what I've been learning about my journey with using the ARM architecture on my handheld. So, okay, let me ask you this.
Think of it more about in the terms of resource distribution.
Yeah.
That's the best way to think about it. How you're distributing the resources, how you're distributing the heat.
Yeah. Definitely. I will tell you that the x86 architecture, from anyone here that owns a PC handheld or a Steam Deck, you know that those suckers get hot. So they get hot. Those fans start blowing depending on pause on what you're playing. And so very interesting. And the ARM counterpart, it runs whisper quiet. It doesn't get as hot, you know. But of course, I'm doing way less. I'm not asking to play, you know, these big AAA games.
It's not exactly apples to apples because you're also not running a desktop class operating system on them and have all these background processes and all this other stuff. So yes, it's not quite there yet. But the proponents keep saying, hey, eventually it'll get there. You know, it'll get there because they're far more performant, and you know the idea of neck and neck. I don't know about all that, but it's not something to be denied anymore. Is what I'm saying.
And Kirby here brings up a good point. I don't know what extra ISA extensions means. I'm not even going to pretend I know what that means. So I'll take your word for it, Kirby. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Kirby is our expert here behind the scenes, so we always appreciate that. But yeah, okay. So Intel, like I said, if anyone has seen the MSI Claw, aka the copycat of the ROG Ally, it's about to release, or it's been released to some individuals for review. I'm really looking forward to the performance, because the last thing I wanted to tell you about Intel, and I don't want to blame this on Intel, and you tell me if they deserve the smoke or not. So last night I download RoboCop on my ROG Ally and the external eGPU, which also has an AMD card in it, right? I see that Intel is providing, I guess you can say, the preferred upscaling technology for that game. Okay, because you get a fancy little Intel logo and everything when you turn on the game. And you played it, right? Did you notice that?
I have beaten the game, yes.
Okay, so all of a sudden, I don't know what it is, but my device is not liking the game. And I'm like, okay, did I do something wrong? Let me look at the settings. Let me look at all this good stuff. It was chugging along, and I turned off. I turned on FSR. I tried it without FSR. I tried it various ways. Couldn't figure it out. Okay, so what I did was I played the game through on my NVIDIA card on my PC, and that's how I got to play it a little bit yesterday. I haven't gone back to try it today because work has been crazy. K, is Intel messing with AMD? Are they butting heads here, or is this an isolated situation on my end?
So I gotta be honest with you. It's probably RoboCop. Like when it first came out, it was broken, even on Intel cards, like on Nvidia cards, I should say. Like, I'm pretty sure I sent a message to the developers, like complaining about it because it would boot up and crash, on a brand new systems, right? Like there was a lot of jank when that game started, and eventually, update after update after update after update, it seems like it started working, right? So much so that even now, sometimes when I boot it up on my A1 Pro on an AMD side, it doesn't load up just right. Like sometimes you can tell that it's just not loading right. My frames are completely lost. Like it's just weird. And I don't blame the AMD drivers for it because I've seen how it started when the game was first launched. Great game, had a great time with it. Awesome game. I'd recommend everybody play it, but it wasn't in the best condition when it first came out. And because of that, I would think since it took a while for them to even clean up the popular drivers for, say, Nvidia, it might be that they just haven't gotten around to dealing with, say, your eGPU and its specifications. Look around. I bet you're not the only one complaining about it.
Okay, and I didn't want to blame Intel for this because that's since I'm so novice, I don't want to blame the company that's providing the marketing for the upscale to be the reason for that. So that's why I didn't want to do that. So I'll look it up and I'll see if I'm running into the same issues. But we have a good chat member there, Roadkill, saying PlayStation and Xbox is better than PC. I mean, Kay, we have to agree we're better at running games at 30 frames per second. So let's
calm down.
Let's see.
Before we get out of here, and today we're gonna have a shorter show. Clearly, let's talk a little bit about this other bit of news that came up that I am super interested in, which is that the PSVR 2, they're talking about testing and potentially supporting PC.
It's about time.
Which you know me, you've heard me say this before, right? This was my handheld, my headset, right? Like I am this is my target audience. I am their target audience. I had no reason not to buy this headset, but unfortunately, when they came out, the options they gave me were very, very limited, and were limited to games that I already had on my PC, which frankly ran better because I have a better video card. Right. But if you tell me that it's open to PC now, but of course we're going to talk about the devil being in the details here, right? We're going to talk about the devil being in the details. If you say it's open to PC now maybe you have my attention. Now maybe I might purchase this.
I got 4 words for you. Are you ready for them?
Please.
In Totoki, we trust. Okay? Totoki is making it all possible for us, guys. He said, open up the floodgates because this thing is sitting on shelves. Nobody's buying it. And from the beginning, everybody asked the question, why didn't they open it up for PC? It would have been sold out. It would have been hard to find.
But as Arzifri, I hope I'm saying your name right here, puts it, it's probably a Steam Link integration, which would suck. That would be the worst.
I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean, Kay? So imagine, right? You would think, right, the best way forward here would be you take they allow for some, and the devil obviously is in the details. They allow for a direct connection of USB-C cable into your PC, and boom, Steam VR compatible, right? That's the ideal scenario, right? But some have speculated, and correctly, that it may be, hey, we don't want you to forego your PSVR, your PS5 altogether, because if we do, then we're going to have people buying this thing, right, and not buying the PlayStation 5, and we want you to buy the PS5. So instead, we'll leave it plugged into the PlayStation 5 and then have a Steam Link app that would then wirelessly connect to your PC and then synchronize you that way. They're not going to do that.
You understand?
I doubt that they're going to do that. And the reason that I say that is because, again, in Totoki, we trust. Okay. if that's going to hinder the experience, and again, if you're tying that to the device, this is a worthless move. You need to make it open so that whoever wants it can use it on their PC, and this thing will more than likely be the de facto headset that people go for.
Hey,
100%.
I'm telling you, if they open this up and I hear if and this is one of those times where I'm practicing what I preach, you know, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna let others take the arrows. The moment I see a review come in and they go, yeah, either officially or unofficially, use Steam VR, plug the bitch in, we good to go. Oh yeah,
brother,
sign me up. I'm buying one.
You ain't gotta wait for reviews. I got one. I'll test it out.
Oh, there you go. So you'll take the arrows for me. That's great.
Of course.
Because I've wanted one, right? I've had the first one. I want the second one. I buy these headsets. I enjoy them. I think they're amazing, right? I was happy to support this headset because finally they make a headset that's not like lacking in performance and power, right? Instead, they just like lock it behind an ecosystem where you can't do anything, right? Yeah,
it's solid. It's a solid headset, man. Now, don't get me wrong. My user experience for VR, I don't have VR legs.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I do not have VR legs, so my playing time is very, very low on it, low mileage. But I will tell you, what I have played, I have enjoyed. The quality is there. It's just that being tied to that PS5. I think for the greater market is what really hindered this thing. It's killed the momentum because all of a sudden now it became a $600 add-on to a console. So if they would have made it open,
and to be fair, and this is their fault, and they definitely should have done something about it. The reason why it's become a problem is because the market itself for VR in general is so damn tiny. Like, you don't get 50, 60, 70 games coming out a month. You get 3 or 4, maybe. And most of the 3 or 4, maybe 3 of the 4 are indie ones, and maybe one is a big title, right?
You know why they did this? You want me to tell you what game they're going to drive with this? Gran Turismo.
You think they're going to put Gran Turismo on PC?
I think that when Gran Turismo releases on PC, this thing will be ready to go for you to be able to use it on your PC, because that way they can kind of leverage the title with the headset, and then it gives the player more incentive to want this thing. And we know that the PC space, they'll buy it, like, for sure. I'm 100% convinced that the PC VR heads will want this thing. 1,000%. I think that Totoki has come up with a way to clear the warehouses.
And provided that they implement it well, I think you're right. BT Maverick 707 says Sony should have made it wireless. I agree with you, but I think that they did not have confidence in the fact that everyone had Wi-Fi 6 radios in their house, right? Right now, Wi-Fi is not one of those phone technologies where every few years you feel the need to upgrade. It's not a phone, right? If it works and it's in your house, it just sits there. So most, specifically speaking about American households, I'll tell you, most folks have Wi-Fi 5 standard and they're sitting there, and there's no way you want to run this wireless on that backbone. So you'd need a Wi-Fi 6 environment for it to run right. And
let me tell you from user experience, I'm not capping.
An ad hoc thing.
No capping, because you guys know how. You guys know, if you know me, you know me. No capping here. The cable really doesn't get in the way. It's long. Pause. It doesn't weigh anything. It really, you don't feel like you even have a cable. Now, if you want to go Keanu Reeves and you're going to be doing backflips and stuff, maybe. But for your average player that just stands around or sits around or whatever the case may be, you don't even remember that you have a cable, to be honest with you.
So I'll tell you, as a guy who considers myself intermediate, if not more advanced in VR, we VR heads who want the biggest, baddest fidelity in VR understand that in order to have that fidelity, you need to be able to have a big pipe, pause, for that to travel through. And that is cable, right? That's why when the rumors of PSVR 2 coming out with a cable, I was like, yep, that makes me want to buy it even more, because I have all the wireless headsets. And if it's wireless, you're losing something through that connection, whether it's ad hoc connection or through your own infrastructure, you're losing something. Or like or the compute is on the headset by itself, and look at the Apple Vision Pro. You ready to pay $4,000 for a headset that who knows how well it performs from a gaming perspective? Like, there's just no winning there, right? So they had to make it a cable, and I think that will be better in the long run. So
you want to know
I
something
for one
else?
think they did a good job.
Yes, I agree. You want to know what else I forecast with this move? No, I do not forecast any other PlayStation first party studio working on anything VR. They're going to have the PC.
Man.
I'm being serious. They're going to have the the PC space work on the VR and then port it to PS5. That's what I think that we're looking at here.
So and while I agree with you, the sadness I have in my heart with that statement is the fact that I know, and most people don't know this, and probably I've said this on this show because I repeat myself. Most people, I've said it many times, they have one of the best studios to make VR games in Insomniac Games, but they'll never make them again.
Hell so no. They are on Spider-Man duty now to the end of time. Sorry.
True. See, and Captain Chats knows what he's talking about. He said he's glad he waited. He will wait for my review before deciding to buy what to buy. I appreciate that, sir. If you had to buy today, my recommendation is still the what do you call it? The Quest 3. It's the most versatile. It gives you cable, it gives you wireless, it gives you onboard, it gives you PC. It does it all, and it's cheap. So that's relatively.
The AR stuff also on it is pretty cool from what I've heard.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. The AR stuff on it's not bad either. So yes, so I think I'm excited for this. We'll watch this space. Since you specifically are a PlayStation beta boy. Once it's released, how to hack the PS Portal. Hopefully you'll document that and tutorialize that for us.
Yeah,
on the show.
Of course, with a whopping 6 gigabytes of internal memory, you'll be able to put one GameCube game. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even when the Portal, when the hack comes out, unless you can expand that storage, I'm not even gonna bother because 6 gigs, that's lacking. That is lacking.
Let us hope that we live in a world where that USB-C port is not just a PD, a power delivery port, and that you can plug in like maybe a USB-C based thumb drive, and there you go, 32 gigs or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the only hope that I even want to venture into that. Because honestly, when I saw that report the other day that the Portal only has 6 gigs of internal memory, I automatically thought, okay, one game, the most that fits in there too, if you're lucky, but nothing, nothing of substance.
I understand, sir. I understand. Well, all right. So we're going to get out of here. But before we do, I see a lot of gamers in the chat. Before we get out of here, I want to know, what games are you guys playing? What stuff are you guys getting into? Because I'll be honest with you. Let me give you some real talk real quick here, Mr. John Wolf. I feel like I want to get into, sometimes in the PC game when you're in between games, I'm in between like a big game, right? Yeah. So I'm playing lots of cool little indie games. But then it makes idle hands. It makes you want to tinker and do something interesting,
Yeah, for sure.
I just finished building the hollow ISO based what do you call it? The Steam Deck. So I have the mini PC Steam Deck under my TV that I've been playing. I hear Tekken 8 is good. I might give Tekken 8 the next try because I hear the graphics are amazing. I've been rewatching the TV show Warrior, so I'm all about that Bruce Lee life right now. So I might give Tekken 8 a try. Interesting.
Can I give you some advice?
Okay. Yeah,
can
please.
I give you some advice that I'm doing? So, like, for example, what I'm gonna do is I kind of have like the nerd that I am. I have literally a list of games that I want to play. I'm gonna play RoboCop through beginning to end, and after that, I'm gonna get into a VR game from beginning to end. Okay, and then after the VR game, I'll bounce back.
Can I recommend the VR game?
Of course, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, okay, no, but which headsets do you have? That's the question, because that's what matters.
Right now, it needs to be on PSVR 2.
It needs to be on PSVR 2. That's a little unfortunate because your first real VR game, beginning, middle, and end, needs to be like the creme de la creme of gaming. So maybe by the time you're ready to play that, PSVR 2 is compatible with PC, and then I'll show you. I'll open those doors for you.
Were you going to say Half-Life?
Hopefully that's where we are.
Alex, is that what you were going to say?
No, I wasn't going to say Half-Life Alex. I was actually going to say something like what do you call it? What's the game that Quest is offering for free for people who buy the Quest 3 now? There's a game they're offering where you're Asgard's Wrath. That's what it's called. Where you're basically playing as a god.
I've seen that.
Very big scale, really awesome. But let's just hope that they allow for PSVR 2 to be PC VR, Steam VR compatible. A lot of cool, interesting games that I would like to share with you on there.
Nice.
So when the time comes, we'll check this out. Yeah.
Check this out. I've gotten this down to a T that I literally have a spreadsheet of these things that I literally know the device that I'm going to use to play said game for my next 5 games. So for example, the next game I'm planning on playing is on the PSVR 2. And after that, I'm planning on using my ROG Ally to play the whole way through this other game. And then the Steam Deck OLED for the next one. And then the Xbox Series X. Because I'm really want to...
This guy.
Like I told you, I got really I got down to the nitty gritty and I said, you know what? I want this year to be the year that I use everything that I own because I don't want to just spend money.
You see, I gotta take a pause real quick and acknowledge BT Maverick 707 for pointing out one of the masterpieces in VR gaming. If there was a game that I would say, hey, try this game, Lone Echo 1. Try that game. Oh my God, masterpiece level stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
That's Quest only, or is that on PSVR?
Well, that's actually Rift only. But you can hack your way through it. You can make it playable with Quest if you wish, and use PC VR to do it wirelessly as well. You can make it work. But that game is that game set a standard. It set a bar. I would say it's even better than better than Half-Life Alex, but that's just me. But it's very good. Anyway,
well, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of you guys. Me and that dude in the chat, Roadkill, whatever his name is. We're the beta boys for the PlayStation. So me and him will figure out what VR games we can play through the console.
So you know what? Usually on this show, before we leave, we like to impart a tip or some kind of pro tip, some PCMR thing that you can use that would be cool that you might like, right? And it's been a while since we've done that. So I think we'll do one. And this one actually was given to me by the one John Wolf.
What's that? What do we got here?
And he found it on many a site that we pay attention to, many a YouTube channel that we follow. If you're out there, you'll know. If you follow this, you'll see a bunch of the links. What is this? This is the community aggregated, updated list of all handhelds and everything it can do, both past, present, and potential future. This thing is comprehensive. It's got it all. Like the stuff that's out now, the stuff that's potentially coming, the stuff that was canceled. So like a quick example, let's say I want to see what the ROG Ally is about. I hit Control F on my keyboard, I say Ally, and guess what? There's the ROG Ally, row 61. It tells you the kind of processor it is, the clock speed, how much RAM it came with, the size of the screen, the whole thing. And my favorite part of all of this is, right, it tells you by manner of A, B, C, D, and all the way to F, what emulation capabilities it's got. Obviously, when you go all the way to the end here, the latest and greatest being PS3, right? And the earliest being Game Boy and everything in between. So there's Switch, there's Wii U, and it shows you. Now, it's interesting, and here's some slander for Mr. John Wolf. It's interesting that the ROG Ally only gets a B in PS3. Only a B. Right?
Only.
Whereas only a B, right? And you'd say, hey, that's not bad. There are many devices, including my own A1 Pro, that gets A's across the board.
Look at
sorry.
that. What a good
It is
student.
what it
You got a star. You got a star, okay? Because you can play 2 extra PS3 games than me. Okay? For MJ Dark, I wonder for MJ Dark where the Switch is on emulation.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I think that what the most it can go up to is probably GameCube, probably, and then it starts to start getting D's and F's on because you didn't study for the test.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. This is a great.
down, man.
This is a great tool. If you're looking for a handheld PC, Windows on the Windows side, on Linux, on Android, these guys are collecting all of this data. Go to it. It is a great resource.
So, the one thing I can tell you that will make you want to use this, right? Because yes, the information is very substantive. Yes, it gets very, very detailed. You may not even want to know all the crazy speeds and feeds that are available here. You may care or may not care. That's fine, right? But the reason why you'll want to do this is if you want one that has specialty back buttons, you'll know that here. If you want one if you've heard about Hall effect sensors and how they stop you from drifting, this will tell you if it has that. Oh, does it have Wi-Fi 6 radios versus lower radios? This will tell you all of those details. Plus, it'll give you reviews of where they are, right? But
that's awesome.
If you don't want to get any detailed than that, just come here and say, well, these devices, all of them play PC games because they're x86 devices. If they're x86 devices, right? And you can even choose that. You can say Windows versus Android. All that can be decided here. But you can go in here and go, I just want to see every game, every system that can play all the AAAs. And it'll limit you to the best of the best. And that'll make your purchasing decision easy peasy, right? You buy one of the ones that do the AAAs and you know you have the best of it all, right?
Yep.
Great resource. Even I use it whenever I'm looking for what's out there, and it's great.
Six Layer wants to know, where can I find this Google Doc? Okay, are you going to link it on the show notes?
I will link it in the show notes, and I will also right now put it in the chat. It is available for all to use. It's a public one. Not everybody can edit it or whatever, but a lot of different content creators that play in that space update it and keep it up to date.
Yep.
So, it's really cool. People should use it. And even in it, you can find like sublinks to other very useful places that give you very useful information, So if you want to learn about this stuff, if you want to dump into these waters and you don't know where to go, I think this link is the first one you need to grab because it'll tell you all this extra stuff, extra stuff. So
and I see that 1 mil or iMil. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. He has an interesting chat here, which I'm sure this weekend you and Everborn will definitely go over this and much, much more.
Oh yes, iMil asks, hey, what about the news about Pentiment being on PS5 120 frames while on 60 on the Series X? Didn't you say the game is a PS5 port to Series X? Let me tell you, every game that will come out of a game company that was building a multi-plat game before they were purchased will be a PS5 game because it's logical.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Okay,
that's where the console players are.
Okay, I've always wanted to do this. Can I channel my inner Shanta Sung right now? You ready for this?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
It has begun. You know what that means, right? You know what that means?
Yes.
Starfield.
Yes.
Starfield.
Oh, here we go.
60 frames per second on PS5.
Oh,
you heard it.
I won't doubt that. And then, of course, shortly after, the patch will come and make 60 frames on Xbox. But
after they tell you in a tweet that there was a bug on the Xbox version. Sure. Yeah, Todd Howard will say that.
Stop the slander.
Hey, man,
move forward.
I keep it real, man.
But yes. So what I will do on here is I will put this in the show notes. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll also ping it again in the chat.
Artistic. It was our artistic view to do that. Remember that, Kate?
Stop the slander, sir.
Artistic
But okay,
choice.
Let's get out of here because we're not going to be here for PCMR slander. Not right now. We're not. Well, we're here for PCMR slander, not for console slander.
But it's so fun, though.
I feel like these days these days the console crowd are getting kicked in the teeth while they're down. There's no there's no need for all of that. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah. If I wasn't on this
Grab your
side of the
console
fence now,
brethren by your hand and give them a hug and tell them it'll be all right. You know,
dude,
You know what I'm saying?
if I wasn't so like in the weeds of this stuff now, I would be feeling it just like them. So I'm kind of grateful that I'm not. And
Mhm.
it is what it is. Kay, you want to give your outro, man? What shows you're going to be appearing for the rest of the week, Kay? I know you got a big show on Saturday coming up. Let the good folks
Indeed.
know, man, where to find you.
You can find me, K Asante, on Twitter, on the TK0 Asante, all the places you want to find me, Xbox, PlayStation, all those places. Actually, find me on Steam under TKO Asante because I'm looking for some people to play some Helldivers 2 with. You want to play Helldivers 2? Find me there. Maybe we'll play some games together. You friend me, I'll friend you back. You send me a message, we'll get at it. Besides that, find me Wednesday, PTG Primetime Gaming on Double Barrel Gaming. Yep. Always love hanging out with them on Wednesday nights. You'll catch me there. And of course, Saturdays on GCP on this channel, the Gaming Circle Podcast. And of course, back again on Monday nights here with the brother, Mr. John Wolf. How about you, good sir? Where can people keep up with your ongoing?
Same as you, man. Social media, X, Twitter, John Wolf, exactly how it's spelled there. Steam, add me, Xbox, PlayStation. If you want my social security number for the Switch code, I'll send you that also. Yeah, man, always a great time hanging out with you, Kay, as always. Thank you for just chatting, with me about the Intel stuff and all that and all the great information that you provided. And chat, thank you for being lively. You guys really lifted up my spirits after work today. I was drained, but you guys brought it, and I appreciate that. So everybody enjoy your week.
Peace, everybody.